Thomas, hey, congratulations for Chariot.
Thank you. Thank you. How's it going?
It's great. I mean, this film, I'm trying to process it. This
Yeah, it's a
this
lot.
film, it's
It's a lot. You're
it,
not alone there. Yeah.
it's bonkers. But what initially attracted you to this project?
I mean, well, kind of just that is that when I finished reading the script, I couldn't fully make sense of it, but in a way that was really that intrigued me. And I knew that the story, um, there was a vision there that I wanted to see brought to life, and it was just so kind of dark and surreal that I just wanted to see kind of what it could become, and I wanted to help bring it to life. And I just knew that I could get my hooks into someone like Harrison pretty easily. So that was kind of the thing. And I just never read anything like it. It was so unique and bizarre. And so I was like, why not? Let's do this.
Oh, wow. So so was it a challenge to get into that headspace of Harrison through this movie? And I guess technically you're like the most straight edge character in the film.
Yeah. Well, and yes, you're right. You're exactly right. The thing is, he's sort of the guy that everything else is happening to. And so basically, you just have to be a good, solid, grounded force for everyone else to sort of bounce off of. And, when we meet Harrison in the movie, he's very lost. He's not sleeping. He can't hold down a job or relationships because these dreams are just driving him crazy. And so he finally says enough is enough and goes to see Dr. Karn, played by John Malkovich, and which just sends him into this spiral of this world of all these eccentric characters that he meets at the Lafayette, the apartment building he moves into. And his life is sort of turned upside down, but in a good way. And I think in a way that gives him agency. And he finally starts to sort of take control and figure out what's going on, and becomes more of a man by the end of it. And where it caught me, I was, everyone had spent the last year inside, and then this was like the first thing that came to me in 2021, and I was just feeling so sort of depressed and sort of just just everyone's feeling kind of shitty at that time. And so I was like, you know what, I feel for Harrison. I can do this right now. And I think there was a lot to relate to there.
With so many eccentric characters throughout this entire movie, how do you not laugh at, people like John, Scout, or even Rosa?
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, Scout's character is so absurd. She's playing these two different characters that are fighting with themselves in this one body. And it's just credit to her for pulling that off. Because I read that and I was like, who can do that? Like, who actually, I wouldn't know how to do that if that was my part. But again, it was so much fun to just see that, like, sit there and kind of and watch it happen. And then Rosa obviously is such a pro. That monologue that she does from the Shrinking Man. Just the consistency with which she's able to deliver that kind of emotion, really, really impressive. And obviously, John Malkovich is just a dream. And as soon as he opens his mouth, you just feel like, oh my God, that's this iconic actor that I grew up watching. And I really just, didn't want to be the weak link. I basically just tried to create a space where everyone could do their best work and I could not get in the way, basically.
I have to talk about John Malkovich's hair, because when I first saw the trailer, I actually said, I have to watch this movie just
Yeah.
because he has that red hair.
Right.
But when he donned it and you saw that, what was your reaction? I mean,
Well, I'd seen a picture of it first because Adam told me, he's like, so John, I think, wants to wear a wig. And I'm like, really? Like, what kind of wig? And he's like, a red wig. And I was like, a red wig? And I was like, well, I don't understand what you mean. And then he showed me the picture and I was like, oh my God. And then even the bow was Malkovich's idea. And so that was all him. and even wearing the T-shirt with the tie printed on it instead of an actual tie. It's all these little clues that he's not who he says he is. And I think that's just like really brilliant, those ideas to bring those ideas to life like that. Obviously he's one of the best.
So acting with John was like a master class by itself. Like you were just experiencing that master class.
Yeah, just watching his process and the way that, the way we'd find the scenes together and the little adjustments we would make. And I could see him sort of directing himself a little bit after each take. And then I would sort of adjust based on that. And by the end, we had these great 3-day stretch where we were doing all the scenes in his office, just kind of sitting and talking. And that as an actor is just the kind of really a blessing, because you just get to sit and work with someone who you idolize and look up to. So that was a lot of fun.
So many great fun scenes throughout this entire film. What was your favorite to perform in?
Let me think. Oh God. I mean, the end sequence, I guess, without giving anything away, but the sort of the last few times you see my character, that whole when the tension sort of ramps up and it becomes more of like an action-y movie, that stuff was all really fun to shoot. But I still say that shooting the scenes with Malkovich was a real career highlight for me. Just getting to have an intimate sort of, like you said, masterclass with this iconic actor was, I learned so much.
There was one thing that actually kind of stuck in my head throughout this entire movie was Adam's introduction of that riddle. Did you actually solve the riddle on set, or it kind of drove you nuts too?
It did, and then I finally kind of figured it out, like what the deal is. But yeah, I'm not going to say anything. Like you should, when you hear the riddle, it's impossible to not try to figure it out. It's one of those things that just grabs your attention. But yeah, because it's a very strange phenomenon. But have you?
I'm sometimes I'm still thinking about it. I mean, I had it posted on social media, and I have mathematicians arguing over it.
Yeah. Well, it is one of those things, but it's sort of a trick question too,
Yeah.
But it's crazy.
Thomas, you play so many roles in so many different movies. How do you choose your roles now these days?
I mean, I really just look for something that I don't know, like a version of myself that I haven't played yet, or there's so many factors to consider. I like to say that I have more control over the projects that I choose, but sometimes it's just what's available to you at that given time, and you try to make the best of it and choose things that are interesting to you and that you think you have an interesting take on. Because if you feel that way, then it's likely that the person watching the film will have the same feeling that like, oh, this is the right guy for this. And so I don't have some big master plan. I'm really just taking it as it comes and trying to challenge myself and again work with people that I admire and am inspired by, people like John Malkovich and even Rosa is a very, very talented actress.
You just mentioned that you like to play characters as a version of yourself. Which version is Harrison of yourself?
He is I guess the more withdrawn, I guess a weaker, more depressed version of who I am right now. I don't envy who Harrison is at the beginning of the film at all. But I think it's someone that a lot of people can relate to, and that's kind of all that I care to do when I'm creating a character. Is that as long as it's someone out there can relate to it or see themselves in someone that I'm playing, then that's what's most important, rather than doing something eccentric for eccentric's sake.
Precisely. Well, what's coming up next for you?
Well, I have a film coming out sometime later this year called About Fate. There's a romantic comedy with myself and Emma Roberts as the leads, which I'm really looking forward to. It'll be a nice holiday, like a romantic holiday movie. And then Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, which is being released by A24, which me and Rosa also appear in, which will be interesting. So yeah, and then something else that I can't talk about yet, but yeah, but hopefully will be announced shortly.
Well, this is a fun movie, and in fact, just 2 hours ago, I was talking to Vernon Davis about
Oh, nice.
turtles
Yeah.
in this movie too. So it's very much a coincidence. Everything just comes all together.
Yeah, yeah. Vernon's the best. He's so yeah, he's so good in this movie.
Most excellent. Well, hey, thank you very much, Thomas. I really appreciate this conversation. I can't wait till your next movie. I love a lot of the films that you're in.
Oh, well, that means a lot to me. I appreciate that.
Hey,
And thank you for taking the time today to sit down with me.
hey, thank you. Appreciate it. Next time, hopefully.
Yeah. All right. Next time.